So whatever. Yeah. Now you can ask me that question.
So, it's, it might still be gravitational pull now that I thought about it a little bit, but what if all of our energy comes from the energy core from the center of the Earth instead of the outer world, the outer Earth, and sucking up the energy there?
We have no way to harness the core energy because we've not reached the core yet. The core is what keeps life alive, I'm pretty sure, because of the warmth coming from the ground and the warmth that's feeding the trees. Like, for instance, if you fly over a pot field with a helicopter, you will see a bunch of red with thermal scanning.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, yes and no. The core is what gives your food energy, I'm pretty sure. Your living food, because we're not supposed to eat dead things
Mm-hmm.
like we seem to think we are supposed to do. But living things like apples and potatoes, you lit a light bulb off a potato.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you get physical energy. That's physical energy. And yeah, I guess you can get, that's how you get the energy from the core then, I guess. Yeah, I suppose. Because it would come from your food and the things that come out of the earth, that protrude from the earth. But literal energy otherwise, I honestly, I again think it's because the earth is spinning just much like a generator. A generator just has a little coil rod that spins inside of other metals
Yeah.
that create static electricity. Us spinning inside of maybe our atmosphere, I don't know if our atmosphere stays still, but if it does, then we're creating static electricity. Static electricity that we cannot see.
See, the Earth is also always moving. Everything is always moving. We are always spinning as well.
Just so you know.
So would that also give us some of the energy as well, since we're always moving, no matter what, even if we're not?
Hell yeah.
We're always moving.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. I honestly feel like there is, now that we're like digging into that a little bit, I feel like us. Yeah, what was that, Bob? Just come down here out of nowhere.
Gives us a cigarette and walks away.
You can talk about it, you just can't swear in case, I don't know. I have no clue how new YouTube, which is supposed to be about you, the people, and your ability to put things on there. YouTube has all these dumb new policies, so yeah,
Yeah.
we have to be careful about that.
Yeah, YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube.
Screw you, YouTube.
Yeah, I just wanted a few drinks. I just get woke up, so I was like, I'll just give you a cigarette if you're awake.
I wonder how long this thing is going to take to upload. But anywho, so yeah, maybe air as we know it, that we're breathing and stuff, maybe air is static electricity.
I feel like there was a...
Or there's static electricity in air.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like there was a test, or something was proven that there was energy in the air. Like coming down...
Because of frictional energy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, yeah. What you missed, Bob, is we also figured out, so because of painting, you take a bunch of paints, you mash them all together. It's basically all off the principle of, some people will tell you that all colors mashed together are black, and some people will tell you all colors mashed together is white.
Right.
How is that? How is those people thinking that's all truth? And it is. So I'm pretty sure what is black, like black holes? Black holes, the reason why they look black is because there's more mass in the world than energy. They're black holes because they're a bunch of mass mashed together. It's super dense.
Yeah.
Now, if you take a bunch of digital colors and you mash them together at a high frequency, they would be white. That would be all colors mashed together. That would be energy, though. So the two base elements to everything in existence would be mass and energy. That is it. And technically, I think that's what might have made the Big Bang. I don't know what energy is, but you take energy, right, and you take a black hole that's sucking everything, right, and you got this big ball of mass, and inside there is a little bit of energy. Now, because it's lighter than everything else and can't conglomerate as well, it goes to the center.
Yeah.
Or it can be frequently freaking out in the center of
Well,
it.
the molecules run millions of miles or whatever.
Now there's this thing, I think it's called a photon, right? A photon, it's something like that. And it's this energy atom, I guess we'll call it. This energy atom that pops in and out of existence as it wants to. Now what happens if a photon is trapped inside a black hole and then instantly disappears to a different place? Now the black hole crushes itself. It falls into itself, and two atoms cannot hit each other without exploding.
Right.
So if you take two mass atoms and mash them together, you're going to get an explosion,
So,
which is the Big Bang.
yeah, 'cause you got enough heat, energy, mass, everything all going in one shot that it has the masses or the little molecules, everything running so fast that it has no choice but to explode.
And that's
I think
what
it's
that's what
inside
would photon particle representing quantum light. Or yep, wow, look at that! Pulled that name right out of my ass without any education. Oh, I just said donkey.
We can edit the video.
I won't edit it. I'll just upload it and hope for the best.
Well, yeah, I think there's a lot of YouTube experts too. So
I'm just
For
worried about the new thing.
So let me finish reading that photon definition. Photon, a particle representing a quantum of light or other electromagnetic radiation. A photon carries energy proportional to the radiation frequency but has zero rest mass.
So it's constant energy.
it's constantly moving.
Look, it sounds like everything and anything. Everything's always moving.
That's a very interesting concept. So maybe a photon can't just be in a black hole. Maybe a photon would be, if it was in a black hole.
It would be the thing that would be continuously sucking.
Did the
right?
photon pop into the black hole to make it explode, which means the mass was too much for the black hole to handle and it exploded? Or was it that the photon was already inside of the black hole and then teleported out, which would have made a huge beam of light on both ends of the black hole? And then the black hole hits itself. As soon as those beams of light are no longer there, they went, right? Like you take two fingers, you put them on top of each other, you pull them apart.
Yeah.
Right? And that little space between the fingers was enough for the black hole to collapse inside itself, which in turn also exploded. So which explosion was it?
I don't think it would have. I don't think it'd be the proton.
Photon.
Photon, yeah. I don't think it'd be the photon teleporting out, because I believe once it gets sucked into a black hole, it can't just teleport out of that same black hole. Because there's too much.
Unless there was a break in the mass.
You'd have to
A tiny little break.
See, I don't know if black holes can have that tiny break, because they're constantly moving. They're constantly sucking. Constantly.
Into itself, which is a solid mass.
Sucking everything into itself, yes. It's not just sucking, it's sucking everything with it.
Exactly, and like just like a screen, if you put a bunch of Flex Seal all over a screen but leave one of those little holes open, the light beam will shoot through that.
Yeah.
No.
Huh. Oh, that's interesting. I don't know. I thought I had you there, but I guess not. That makes more sense.
So yeah, I mean, you got all these atoms that are super dense revolving around each other.
Mm-hmm.
And if just two of those atoms like get away from each other just far enough for the light to make it through energy, it would fucking shoot out as fast as it can.
Yeah.
And get the fuck out of that place, because the fudge out of that place. Oh well, it looks like I'm going on Adult Channel. That's because it's way too deep for kids anyway.
Yeah, because that makes sense. Because they say when a black hole explodes, that they see beams of light shooting out of it.
So that is a thing. I didn't.
If I remember right.
I came up with that in my head. So
I believe if I remember right, when they do explode, there are being like basically like a mass energy or something like that when it does, basically it collapses on itself. If I remember right, there should be lights of energy shooting out of that one side.
Yeah, because all it is sucking up energy, so it'd
Yeah.
be releasing all the energy that's sucked out.
Yeah, we just can't see it with the naked eye because I mean, obviously, how many billions of light years away it is
Yeah.
or whatever, and how many we don't know how we don't need. Nobody even knows if the space as we know it ever ends. You know,
Mhm.
that could go on for eternity and it could never end. So, but yeah, they say that you should be able to, depending on where it goes, it should have like like energy shooting out of it once it does explode on itself.
See, no,
or
once
something,
it
if I remember right.
when it explodes, does it stop? Because like what Rosie was saying, the Big Bang is still going, but since it's past us, we don't know. We think it ended, but it's
Well,
still going.
Still want to I don't know. That
Yeah,
is
it's
kind of a good
still
theory.
it's still exploding outwards. That means even when we get sucked into our own tiny black hole, it's gonna do nothing for the rest of it.
Yeah.
We're very unimportant.
Yes.
No, we're basically a speck of dust.
Yeah, compared to the rest of the space and universe, we're like microscopic compared to it. We're nothing compared to the universe. We're just here.
Hmm. Yeah, that's what we were talking about.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to Google some more on that. But I remember, if I believe right, that's what happens. It does have some light shooting out of it, or something like a high speed mass or energy or something coming out where it's like it looks like a beam of light shooting out because
Yeah.
like you said, a black hole is gonna suck it in. But now if you explode it, now it can't suck it. Now it has nowhere to shoot outwards.
Mhm.
Yeah, it'd be like putting a grape inside a machine that can crush from all directions.
Yeah.
That water will eventually find a pinhole inside that fucking crushing machine it would just spray out at such a high speed of rate.
But isn't a black hole kind of like a funnel though? Because it
Yes. Because it would start. It's just like a funnel. It starts out big. Because the theory with the black hole is if you go into a black hole, you can go in there, but it goes down and it will eventually crush you because it's got so much. It just keeps funneling and funneling, and it just has nowhere else to go but compressing it. you
yeah.
know?
So yes and no. A black hole would look like a hourglass without bottoms.
Mhm.
Yes.
And in the center of that, the actual thing that we're calling a black hole is actually a marble. We could if we had the ability, we could grab that and roll it around.
Mhm.
That
It's
is
like
a
a pinpoint.
physical thing in the center of that. So no, it's not. The outside of it is all a vortex, yes.
Yeah, it sucks it
The
up. into a
inside
vortex.
is much more calm.
like a tornado or
Like the eye of a storm.
Yep.
yeah,
Yes.
hurricane is probably a better example than a tornado.
Yep.
Yeah, either one. Yep, the right in the middle of it.
Calm before the storm, in the eye of the storm. There.
Yep. If a tornado goes right over top of you, right in the dead center of it is, you can see the blue sky and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's calm. Birds are flying, chirping,
Yep.
and all of a sudden, bam.
Hmm.
It makes sense.
Yeah. So, what the universe might be then is a constant battle of light and dark. Basically, life and death. It's a consistent struggle, consistent battle, and that's the only reason why everything exists.
We live to die.
Now, how much energy there is in the world? Who knows? I mean, in the universe, in the cosmos, I have no idea. But obviously, we have less energy than we do mass.
Yes.
On Earth, yeah.
On everywhere. There is way more quote unquote darkness than there is light.
I feel like that's only the case because there is no in space like stars. They are bright, but they don't expand as much as like light bulbs in a house. There's no gravity. There's nothing to spread it. It's just there.
Right.
Like we have gravity and energy here that spreads it all out. In space, that doesn't spread out as much like that, though, right? Is what
Yeah, I
I'm,
suppose not.
does that make sense?
But that's again because there's more darkness than light.
okay.
Yeah, because if there was more light, you should be able to see like in the day sky, like
Mhm.
if there's daylight out. Whereas you're seeing black, pretty much like he's saying, and you got these little stars that are basically pinholes that are just like whether they're on fire or they got light reflecting off of them or whatever. So that makes sense. You got more dark than you do got light and everything.
Well, stars actually, I think stars. The sun is technically a star. It's just the closest star to our solar system, which is why it looks so big, as opposed to other stars that are. Far,
And that
far
gives
away.
us just enough energy to exist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Without the sun, we'd all die. Without the sun, we'd just be a big iceberg.
Yeah. Eventually, that's gonna come.
What
to us.
creates the mutation of life then?
What do you mean?
Well, if Mars doesn't have life on it and none of these other planets do, that must mean our distance from the sun is what makes the perfect environment. But what started that mutation? How the hell did that start?
Bacteria.
Which came in water.
Water formed bacteria, which evolved into other life forms, which is how we evolved to be who we are. We are the perfect
So to
distance away.
figure out the nature of human existence is to figure out the nature of water's existence.
Yes. I feel like the Earth is the perfect distance away from the sun to not be a ball of fire and to not be ice. Like Mars, or what's close to the sun? Mars, Venus. They're close to the sun, but they're really hot. Mercury, yeah. And like Uranus and Jupiter are farther away, but they're typically really, really cold. We are that perfect distance from the sun where we have hot and cold, but not excessive for us to continue living.
So would that make, out of the two elements that I was talking about, you got mass and you got energy, would that make water its own entity?
Very good.
I think so, actually. Water is its own thing.
It's the perfect balance in between energy and mass. Because it's almost a solid, but it's not a solid. And it's definitely not electricity.
No.
Because it's not moving fast enough.
Yeah.
So it's the perfect mixture of... So you gotta make dead things move in order to give them life.
No. Yeah, because you think about it, when you heat water up, and that's where he's going with it. You heat water up. Cold water, the molecules are moving really slow. The faster you heat it up, the faster things are moving.
Yeah.
You're creating a friction energy in a sense. They're bouncing off each other. It's causing it to heat up and everything. So that makes sense.
Yeah, well, if that's the case, then how did we get bacteria, like the first bacteria in water, for us to continue on? Like, how does bacteria start?
It was DNA codes sent in a meteoroid.
The bacteria
So
was on the
what
meteorite?
we really need to figure out is how DNA survived because of the water. Now what the is DNA?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Now that makes more sense. Huh.
Yep. Because even further than just bacteria or single whatever organisms, that's just DNA.
Yeah.
So what is DNA? I don't even know what it stands for, actually.
Yeah, I've never even known what the DNA stood for either.
No, we're about to find out.
Well, we'll find out now.
Whoa. I ain't gonna read that.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's what
DNA. Deoxyribonucleic acid. Whatever. Whoa, it's acid. Ooh. Or
Yeah.
pungent. Is a molecule compressed of two chains that coil around each other from a double helix carrying genetic instructions for the and exactly what are these genetic instructions for development of functioning growth, reproduction of all known organisms and many viruses, DNA and blah blah blah. So it's an acid. So what is an acid? Acids are one of the more four major micromolecules that are essential for all known for. So I want you to look up what the four major types of micromolecules is.
4 major types?
Yep.
Okay.
I almost want to say it's gonna be mass, electricity, water, and acid.
4 major types of acid. That's what
No.
No.
4 major types of micro.
I can just go back.
Yeah, that word's really important.
Yeah, this is.
Okay.
We have
Micromolecules, yeah.
No, micromolecules.
Macromolecules.
Yeah, because there's a difference, micro, macro. I forgot about that. My science
Ah,
teacher had
yeah.
it. My science teacher almost had a heart attack when I went micro instead of macro. I was like,
Yeah,
whoa.
I failed the test.
Yeah.
I don't.
Carbohydrates, nucleic acids, proteins, and lipids.
Oh. Whoa.
Okay, let me see that.
Well, here you should be able to click the little arrows, and it should give its mini definitions with them, I believe.
Are we sure? And carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, and nucleic. So, what the heck is a lipid? And what the heck is a carbohydrate?
Ooh, carbohydrate. They have that in like hydrating juices like Gatorade and Powerade. They have a lot of carbohydrates in that. I believe it is they are used to replenish something.
Carbohydrates is what when you eat it, like in any kind of foods and stuff, it would give you energy.
So that's the energy.
That's
I'm gonna
enough.
call it the soul energy. That's our soul energy that we put back into Earth when we die,
No.
and then it turns into food.
That's why when they do a lot of dieting, they say not like with Justin, like don't eat bread, don't do this, 'cause it's got a lot of carbohydrates in it. And what they don't realize is when you eat that, it breaks it all down, and that's how you do get your energy. You can't just live off just meat and just vegetables and just fruits. You got to have a balance of it all to make yourself all good, you know.
Food pyramid.
So me saying energy is just a layman's term for carbohydrate.
In a sense, yeah.
All right, now what the heck is a lipid? Lipid. The main function of these lipids is energy insulation. Lipids is energy
You need this.
and insulation.
Phone's about to die.
Wow, this is actually going to take much further study. So yeah, the meaning of life is going to be a little bit harder for me to figure out, but I'm pretty sure I can figure that out by thinking about it hard enough and just seeing it as it is.
With your brain, I have no doubt. But like,
Yes.
holy shit.
Alright, we'll go back to that for a bit.
Okay.
Sorry, we gotta get up early and head to milk soon.
Soon?
All by 9 o'clock. A little after 9.
Yeah, you guys, we're going to have to talk about that too when you guys get up, because I don't know. There's some things we're going to be without.
Yes.
So I'm going to try figuring that out. But all right.
Yep.
I'll talk to you in the morning then.
Alright, sounds good.
I too. Well, isn't that just amazing? Hopefully it picked up most of that. So, is there anything we didn't cover on that?
I'm pretty sure that we covered a lot. I have no idea what we would have not have covered.
Well, I mean, since I started recording.
I think we did get everything. In the sense of what we're talking about, I think we did cover everything. We went through quite a few topics.
There's going to be no clickbait for this video. It's going to be pretty interesting. There's going to be just nothing about it. But I'm going to stop it at 25.
Hey, make Wizard.
What? Put Wizard in there? Okay.
Wizard's the clickbait.
Wizard.
Wizard! Oh, Wizard, you're the clickbait.
Wow. That's not very nice.
That's all she's good for.
Alright. We're at 24:30. This is a step into my brain. Hope you liked it. These are the conversations I fiend for in life. One day I hope to understand all the things that we pay no attention to and cannot see. Yeah. Just see the world as it is. Gonna be 2020 soon. Hope everybody can see the world with 2020 vision. That's my resolution. And goodbye.